Since childhood, we know that the Kuiper Belt begins where the solar system ends, and the largest object in this Kuiper Belt is Pluto, which we once knew as the 9th planet of the solar system. But one scary thing is that Pluto is in a place where sunlight reaches less than 1% compared to our Earth. The temperature there is so low that it can freeze the body's temperature. The surrounding is dark and cold, yet many unknown mysteries are hidden inside this Pluto. Today, there are a total of 8 planets in our solar system, starting from the closest planet to the Earth, Mercury, to the farthest planet, Neptune. Earlier, Pluto was considered after Neptune. But why is Pluto not considered now? Where is it now? Why did scientists exclude Pluto from our solar system? What was its fault? If you search Google now, only 8 planets will be mentioned. But why? To find the answers to these questions, we have to go back to the time when Pluto was first discovered and gradually understand how it was removed from our list of planets. First, we need to know one important thing about Pluto. Pluto was recognized as a planet for a total of 76 years. When Pluto was first seen in 1930, it was declared the 9th planet in the solar system. And from 1930 to 2006, everyone knew Pluto as a planet for these long years. So if you were in school before 2006, then your books must have written about 9 planets, where Pluto was named as the last planet. Having been known as a planet for so long, it seemed strange to many that Pluto was suddenly no longer called a planet. But in 2006, Pluto was removed from the list of planets and declared a dwarf planet. Simply put, Pluto is no longer considered a full planet like before, but rather a small cosmic object. However, there was a specific reason for this consideration. In 1905, there was a scientist named Percival Lowell. He believed that Neptune was not the last planet in the solar system. Beyond it, there was another large planet, which we had not yet seen. While observing the orbits of Uranus and Neptune, he realized that something was affecting their paths. And the reason he imagined behind that strange change was an unknown large planet, which he named Planet X. He tried to find the mysterious planet, but unfortunately, he died in 1915 and his discovery remained incomplete. But the Lowell Observatory he created continued the search. From 1915 to 1929, the astronomers working there tried to find Planet X for about 14 years, but no results were found. And then in 1929, a new astronomer, Clyde Tombaugh, joined him and did what had been impossible for so many years. He observed the stars in the sky with a telescope for about a year. His goal was to find an object that was not fixed, but was changing its position, because stars usually stay in the same place, but planets change their position. In this way, patiently observing, in January 1930, he finally saw an object that was changing its position. At first, it was thought to be a mistake, but after taking pictures of the same object for several days, it was confirmed that it was not a star but a planet, because it did not stay in one place but was slowly moving. Thus, the long-searched Planet X was finally discovered. However, after finding the planet, another new question arose: what to name it? Many names were proposed, but none seemed to fit. Out of the many names, the name that everyone liked the most was Pluto. And the interesting thing is that this name was given by an 11-year-old girl, Venetia Burney. According to her, in Roman mythology, Pluto is the god of the underworld, and this planet is located in a dark, distant place that was very much like the underworld. So the name was quite fitting. Now let's know about the location of Pluto. After the planet Neptune, there is a region where countless objects revolve around the Sun. Here, there are millions of asteroids, comets, icy rocky objects, everything. This vast region is called the Kuiper Belt, and the largest object in this Kuiper Belt is Pluto. Where it is located, so many imagine it as if the Kuiper Belt is a dark world and Pluto is the king of that world. That is why Planet X was named Pluto, and in 1930 it was officially declared a planet. That is, the 9th planet in the solar system was discovered at that time. But even then, a big question was, how big is this planet? Initially, scientists thought that Pluto might be bigger than Earth. It may even be as huge as Uranus or Neptune. But later, as research gradually increases, it is understood that the reality is completely different. Pluto is not bigger than Earth, but it is not even close to it. In fact, Pluto is smaller than our Moon, about half the size. If you compare it with Earth, if not, the diameter of the Earth is about 6 times larger than Pluto. Even if we calculate, about 170 Pluto auras can enter the Earth. This shows how small an astronomical object Pluto actually is. Now, if we talk about distance, then Pluto is so far away that it cannot be seen clearly even with today's modern telescopes. The distance of Pluto from the Sun is about 7.4 billion kilometers, which is about 49 times farther than the Earth. This is why it is so far away that even modern telescopes could not get a clear picture of Pluto. For example, if you look at the pictures taken with the Hubble telescope, you can see that they are quite blurry, where the true color or details of Pluto cannot be understood properly. As a result, it becomes difficult for scientists to study Pluto properly. To solve this problem, scientists thought that if they really wanted to know Pluto better, they would have to send a special spacecraft there. And from that idea, a special spacecraft, New Horizons, was built between 2001 and 2005. This New Horizons is the only spacecraft to have gone near Pluto. It was specially designed to get close to Pluto, to take clear pictures of it and to study it up close. When New Horizons reached Pluto and started taking pictures, we could see Pluto clearly for the first time. Its color, its surface, and even its icy parts were clearly visible. New Horizons was launched in 2006. It took 9 years to reach Pluto. Finally, in 2015, it reached Pluto. However, before New Horizons, 2 other spacecraft were sent to study the planets outside the solar system, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Voyager 1 had completed the study of Jupiter and Saturn, and Voyager 2 of Uranus and Neptune. If they wanted, scientists could have sent these 2 spacecraft to Pluto as well, but Pluto was not considered so important at that time. So instead of sending them to Pluto, they were sent outside the solar system to interstellar space. The distance from Pluto to the Sun is so far that less than 1% of the sunlight reaches it than on Earth. This is why Pluto's sky is so dark that stars can be easily seen there even during the day. And when it comes to temperature, many people might think that the coldest planet might be Uranus or Neptune. The lowest temperature on Uranus is minus 224 degrees Celsius, and Neptune is about 214 degrees Celsius, but Pluto is even colder. Here the temperature can drop to about 233 degrees Celsius. That is, Pluto is one of the coldest planets in the solar system so far. Another thing is that none of the planets in our solar system revolve around the Sun in a perfectly circular circle. Each planet revolves around the Sun in a slightly elliptical or egg-like orbit. That is, sometimes they come a little closer to the Sun and sometimes they go a little further away. However, in the case of Pluto, the matter is a bit strange. Pluto is not usually elliptical, but much more elongated or extremely elliptical. This orbit is so strange that sometimes Pluto comes closer to the Sun than Neptune. That is, Pluto's farthest orbit from the Sun is 7.4 billion kilometers and its shortest orbit is 4.4 billion kilometers. This state is called perihelion. And at this time, Pluto comes closer to the Sun than Neptune, because at this time, Neptune's distance from the Sun reaches about 4.5 billion kilometers. Such an event also happened from February 1979 to February 1999. For about 20 years, Pluto was closer to Neptune. That is, at that time, in a way, it was in a position like the 8th planet. And in terms of rotation, Pluto is a little different. Where most of the planets in our solar system rotate in one direction, Pluto rotates in the opposite direction, just like Venus and Uranus rotate. In this respect, these three planets are completely different. Now, if we talk about their satellites, then more interesting information will come to light. Mercury and Venus do not have any satellites, but Pluto has a total of 5 satellites: Nix, Styx, Hydra, Kerberos, and the largest Charon. This Charon is so big that it is almost half the size of Pluto. As a result, Charon's gravitational effect falls on Pluto a lot, and this is why Pluto and Charon both rotate around each other as if they are dancing together without hiding. There is another amazing idea according to many scientists. Once Pluto and Triton passed by Neptune. Then Neptune's gravity pulled Triton towards itself and made it a satellite. But Pluto got out of that attraction. If Pluto had been trapped by Neptune's gravity that day, it would have become a satellite of Neptune today. But now let's come to the biggest question. Why is Pluto no longer called a planet? Pluto was a planet for 76 years, from 1930 to 2006. But why was it suddenly removed from that list in 2006? To understand the reason, you need to know one important thing. Pluto is not alone. There are many other objects like it that could have been called planets, such as Mars, Sirius, which is between Jupiter and Saturn,